Okay, that was my son, Cyrus the Great, that wrote that message in the chat.
Oh, Cyrus the Great. All right, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure who it was.
There you go.
Okay, I could see him right now. I could see the great one. The great one is with
yes,
the greatest one.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so he wrote, yes, I was the great driving with the forensic networkers. So he's in the camp. He's in the camp.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So how have it been for you? I see that you're on the road and it's bright sunshine.
Yes, it's nice and hot. We went to see my nephew Omid Reza's son. He was having his football practice, and these boys are warriors. And I'll tell you, it's hot, and they got the helmets and everything on. They're padding, but they're just battling it out. So it's nice to see.
Well, it's nice to know that the daddies are taking responsibilities and championing the cause for the young ones and the future of the sons that are coming up from your example.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, I'm here. I'm just going to, I'm going to stay in the car and get it done in the car. So you can go up if you want.
Not a problem at all. Well, it is 8 o'clock. I'm just going to officially open the call. I was just keeping the call entertained. I know that I saw Cyrus on very early. Wasn't realize it was you. Okay, guys, so good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. My name is Arthur Anthony from the beautiful, romantic, scenic, exotic 238 square mile island in the Caribbean. And guys, if you have never visited St. Lucia, you definitely must come, because we are the only island with bosoms or tits in the Caribbean. Don't take my word for it. You gotta come and see it yourself. I am a lifestyle director too with the company Opulence, and it's my greatest honor and privilege tonight to actually introduce the gentlemen who have been taking this call for a couple of weeks now. And it has been dynamic and an energetic and informative calls. And we are privileged to have that. We are known to be great storytellers. They pay us to tell stories. And I want to tell you his story tonight, because you definitely want to hear this great man's story. So our CEO and founder, Mr. Ramin Masgallo of our company Opulence Global, he's also the founder and creator of Forensic Networker and the Forensic Advanced Marketing Experience. Wow. I want to tell you that Ramin Masgallo has spent more than half of his life as a high-performing direct seller, and also in the MLM industry, he has been one of the top trainers. Ramin actually started off his direct sales and MLM profession in 1990 at the age of 20, or I should say at the youthful age of 20. And he spent the next 14 years building 4 home business empires, really. Ramin explains that building multi-million-dollar empires is nice. But what he's really proud of is the fact that 12 of those 14 years, he spent it on the field, working as a full-time, high-performing and high-earning distributor. Guys, that's important, because this gentleman knows how to get his feet dirty and get his hands dirty, just like us in the field. Ramin's success came from the basic principle that starting and actually operating a direct sales MLM business is just like any other traditional business, which requires training, discipline, and commitment. Rated as one of the world's top 2 master trainers and top 3 compensation plan experts, he believes that as trainers, we should not focus on the potential millions that can actually be earned in the direct sales MLM industry. But instead, our focus, guys, should be to help as many people as possible to earn a full-time income from home. He learned very, very early in his life that the ultimate focus and target of the Forensic Networker program is to help people escape from their 9-to-5 job tyranny. And that, I think, is a real focus. So I want to introduce to you no other guys, the visionary behind the philosophy of Opulence Global, the architect of our company, and also the direction the company is going, and our best test, if that's the word, compensation plan in the world. So let's welcome to the call, Ramin Masgado. Can you hear me loud and clear?
I'm telling you, you are so good, Arthur. You know, one of the greatest thing that you get off MLM. Can you hear me okay, first of all?
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. You know, initially, we all want the money. Why? Well, we have bills to pay. We have some debts, the things we want, like things we want to achieve, attain. So money is important. But once you have some money, you don't have any debt, you got your toys, you go where you want, eat what you want, live in the home you want, money becomes less significant. Then other things becomes more priority. So, and for people who achieve the first part, the financial side, it's gratification. It's gratification, you know, and you can get that many ways, but I think the ultimate gratification is when you help others to get what they want. And in this business, that should be so natural because we cannot get to where we are unless we help a lot of others to get what they want. And why so many people, including leaders, fail to reach their ultimate potential, whatever that potential is because they don't get this part, which is, it's not about you. It's about giving people what they want, and you will get what you want. They stop giving. And when they stop giving, then they stop getting. It's the law of nature. It can't change that. It's not 99%. It's 100%. When you stop giving, you're going to stop getting. And that's how it is. I'm on this call right now. I'm taking a look and say, wow, what an unbelievable international call this is. Let's see, we have St. Lucia, we have Singapore, we have Alberta, we have Toronto, we have Brisbane, Australia, we have Singapore again, we have Iran, the Middle East is in the house, Toronto, and it just goes on, and Alberta, Pittsburgh, USA. I mean, this is absolutely, I know Philippines is in the house as well. What other business do you know that you can start from home? It's a movement that you can start from home and then start changing lives globally. I mean, for me, the gratification, because I've been blessed, my life has been good for a while. I made my money early because of this industry. At age 25, I made my first million. I'm 51 now. So I didn't open up Opulence because I was looking for lifestyle or I was looking. I mean, money is good. Don't get me wrong. Money is great. It's important. And whoever says not important, they don't know where to shop. I'm telling you, it's important. It's important because everything desirable takes money. It's important. So it's important. Establish that. It is important.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't motivate me. And it used to motivate me. It doesn't anymore because I suppose because I pretty much, you know, I mean, I could always use more stuff, but I pretty much can do what I want. So what's my motivator is when you take your life's work and the ideas and the experiences and, you know, because I've been through the trenches. I've been muddied and bloodied so many times. Every experience I have, there's bruises to go with it. And you take those ideas and you put it on paper, and the first person looks at it, the second person, third person, and finally somebody says, this makes sense. And they take it and they go, and next person, then eventually some people get results. And next thing you know, people are making money. Next thing you know, people quitting the job. Next thing you know, people are making $1 million, and the second million, and third million. Next thing you know, people make millions and then sell their distributorship that they started with a couple of $1,000 for like hundreds of thousands of. Do you have any idea how that feels? I mean, I'm proud to say we've had so many successful people who've come in, made a ton of money for whatever reason. They wanted to live their dream somewhere else, someplace else, something else. and they sold their distributorship for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then you start to think, man, these are my ideas, my beliefs, and people are getting results out of that. It's incredible. Today, I never have a topic, pre-topic, because I gave up on going on forensic chapters because it's frustrating to me. In 1 hour, we couldn't even touch the basis of a paragraph in the forensic chapter because it's so intense. And now we have all these fractured chapters discussions. So on week 2, I decided we're not even going to go to the chapters because I like to finish the conversation, and we won't get to do that. So I just thought I'll just wait. What happened that day or that week, a topic that came up, then I'm going to share that on a forensic call. And it's been working great because we can then talk about it in depth as opposed to rushing through, because forensic is a 7-day intensive university. There's nothing about it that you could do in an hour. I think the bio takes an hour. So we're going to, so today I'm driving to Ottawa to see my great one. I stopped by a gas station. And by the way, next, I do some Instagram Live because our forensic following in the Middle East is huge. It's even bigger, when it comes to social media. It's even bigger than the English social media ones because I guess they use social media a lot in the Middle East. So we have a forensic channel in Farsi, and Heyman, who's a moderator, and he's actually on the call tonight. So they've asked for me to do a live once a month. So I do a live. The next topic I'm doing is it's an Instagram Live. The topic is my top 10 most used openers for prospecting. How do you get a candidate? So that's going to be the topic on the next one. So if unless you can polish your Farsi in next 2 weeks, you can get on that call. But we're going to do this in English as well. So today I'm driving. I had to get gas. So I thought I went inside and there was a guy there, and it was a good, he has a good humor chat, and he says to me, he's talking about different things. So I said, so tell me, how long have you been working here? He says, I just got started. I said, yeah. So what do you love about it most? His job. He's a cashier at a gas station. On the highway. He said, I hate it. I said, you hate it? So I made fun of it. I said, so why do something you hate? He said, I just got to make some money. I said, yeah? So there's nothing you like about it. So let me ask you something. So if you made the same money, but you did something you actually like, would you rather do that? He said, yeah, I would do that. Yeah. I said, okay, so since you hate it, tell me, what do you hate about it the most? So I'm like rubbing it in now, right? What do you hate about it the most? He says, the long hours, the night shift. So I said, so if you could make the same money, but if you want to earn flexible hours, or hours you wanted, you would rather do that then? He said, oh, absolutely. I hate working. It's okay. Finally, he says, so what do you do? I said, I work in a space where we match people with the career that they want to get into. So if whatever it is that they like or dislike in their current job or career, we find something for them that they could do that's something they actually love to do and get the same money or more money, but we try to match people with the careers they actually want. He said, well, that sounds really good. So they have a job for me? I don't have a job for you, but here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to send you a couple of links. I want you to watch it. And then we can discuss everything you hate about your job and how this can be a solution. And we're going to discuss everything you love about your ideal career and how this potentially can be that. How about that? He said, that's great. I said, I'm going to send you a couple of links. Now, that brings our conversation to this. I walked out. It was about a 2-minute conversation. I was thinking to myself, because I've always said this, prospecting is so easy. It is absolutely so easy, and it's so fun, yet it's the most terrifying thing to people to do, right? And I know because I don't do prospecting anymore. When I was a soldier, when I was on the field, I was a monster. Reza used to say, Ramin can prospect the Pope. I would, and I could. I'm telling you, because I'll tell you a little technique about that. And so today it's not about, we don't have time for that, but I will give you a little bit the flavor of that. You see, people who think prospecting is hard, they don't understand what prospecting is. They think prospecting is finding someone to sell something to, or finding someone to recruit. And if that's what you think of prospecting, then it's scary. Really scary, because you're looking for a post result. You haven't even met the person. You're looking for a post result. You're looking for sales, right? You understand, if you know what prospecting really is, you have so much fun with it. So now in forensic, we cover that in depthly in the seminars. We don't have time right now. So, but prospecting really is a process. So prospecting is not selling anything. Prospecting is not recruiting anyone. Prospecting is building a relationship. Prospecting is showing interest. Prospecting is conversation. Prospecting is putting people in your pipeline. Prospecting is filling up your calendar. Prospecting is everything but sales. It's everything but recruiting. That's what prospect. See, the sales and the recruits, that's the result of prospecting. It's not the cause. It's not the process. It's the result. But because you're thinking of the result, and in forensic, we talk about the concept, don't be result oriented, be process oriented. So I'm talking to this young man, I'm thinking, man, I miss prospecting. It is so much fun to prospect if you understand what prospecting is. So if you're prospecting to you is, then I'm hoping to sell him something. You're both uncomfortable. He is and you are. But look what happened. I just prospect this guy. And I have his number. I'm going to go through the process one more time so you understand what happened. But I didn't ask him to buy anything. He doesn't think I'm trying to sell him anything. I didn't try to recruit him. He didn't feel he was being recruited. If anything, he was honored for the opportunity. I didn't have a McLaren or anything. It wasn't because of the car. It was none of that. He doesn't even know what I do. He doesn't know I'm a CEO. He doesn't know I own a company. He just says, what do you do? I said, I work in a space. I only said this because I matched my response to what he said, right? I work in a space where we match people to the career that they want. If there's things you don't like about your job, we'll match it to a career that doesn't have those things. If you love the parts about you, things that you want, but there's other things you want, then we can match the things you love of what you're doing to another career. It gives you maybe more time flexibility. All I did was listening to him. See, because my job right now is not to sell him anything. My job right now is to prospect him, make him a candidate. So once you understand this is a process involved, and when you try to rush through the process, you screw everything up. I mean, that doesn't work in anything. If you want to cook something, if you rush through the cooking process, you add all the ingredients for the first ingredient's not cooked yet. What do you get out of it? You get a mess. That's what you're going to get, a belly pain. That's what you're going to get out of it. So I'm telling you that once you understand that there is a process involved, right? There's a process involved. Then when you follow the process, you feel so much better about your business and how you do things, because when you're doing a process, you focus on one process and not that one step and not the whole process. The whole process together becomes complex, but one step at a time, it's not. When I talk to candidates, I'm not thinking of selling anything. I'm not thinking of, now, sometimes you run into someone and the question of the fountain of life comes out. What do you do? Now, we'll talk about that, because you could say you're in the health space and you help a lot. So we have, depending on what the conversation was, this one was his career. You could sell a lot of products talking to people just because somebody said about the health issue and you mention your product and say, I want some, great. That's wonderful. At that time, you were talking about a product, and he has a need, right? You were looking for a looker, and he was looking. And at the end of the day, and the conversation came up, and the sale happened. Great. But when it comes down to so selling products, right? You can do that on the spot. But when it comes to recruiting for business, then it's a process you got to follow. Now, why is there a difference? Here's the reason why it's different. Because when somebody buys a product, people are used to buying stuff. It's very natural for them. And it's easy to do. But if you ask them to join something or to launch a business, that's not just buying a business. That requires a post-purchase commitment. So when they buy a product, go use it till the next one they need it. There's no other commitment. But when you're asking them to launch a business or become a partner, they can purchase a package, become an LA. But that's not the hard part. The hard part is post-purchase commitment. That's what holds them back. So that's why you have to follow the process. So with this young man, I said to him, so I saw he was good humored. So I think I'm going to talk to this guy. First question I asked, so I wouldn't know this job is not glamorous. I used to do that when I was younger. So I said, so how long have you been doing this? Oh, I'm new. So what do you love about your job? I hate my job. See, I knew it didn't matter what he said. He could have said, "I'm absolutely, this is my dream job." See, the answer doesn't matter. I was going somewhere with this. I love it. I hate it. It doesn't matter. I just want to know how he feels about his job. That's all. So why do something? He hates it. So why do something you hate to do? See, I'm kind of rubbing it in. I want to think about that a little bit, right? Well, I need to make some cash, so that's what I'm doing. Okay. So what does he hate about it so much anyway? So I'm making fun of it now. You know, the long hours. See, I want to know what's really bothering him, so I can cater what I'm about to offer him to that. A guy like that, I'm not talking fountain of life. A guy like that, I'm not talking watches and fashion. The guy like that, I'm talking what he wants. See, look for the looker, right? You're looking for someone who's looking for something. In this particular conversation, he was looking for a better way. He doesn't know he's looking, but by he's telling me he's looking. He hates what he's doing. Who wants to stay where they hate it? Right? So they don't want to. So he might not even know he's looking, but I know he's looking. So I'll stick to that area. It's like another time I went to a flea market. There was a young I call him a young man, but there's an older gentleman there, right? So they had this really cool, he had a really cool shop within the flea market. It was army stuff. I love army stuff, gas masks and grenades. And I have a huge gun collection. I love that. I know it's weird. I have a huge gun collection. I love that. So, hey, he just tells you don't have to be really slick or sharp or, clean around the edges to be a successful in MLM. I'm a good example of that. You could be you, whoever you are. You carry some basic principles, and you can be successful in MLM. I'm not a Harvard graduate. I don't have this thing, but I'm not one of the top best trainers in the world. Because again, at the end of the day, you don't need to be like somebody to be the best. You could be you in your personality and be the best, and that's what you need to do. So, anyways, so I'm there, and he's sitting. I picked a bunch of stuff, and I'm asking for a bag. Say, hey, young man, do you have a bag for this? He's sitting on his chair. He's not even getting up. He says, yeah, just go underneath that table, lift up the thing, and underneath there's a pick it. I knew he did not want to get off his chair, right? Obviously, he's got a problem with his knees, his back. Who does that? I got all this stuff. He's asking me to go all these places to find the bag. So this is how I approached him. So I went there, picked it up, said, hey, young man, hold those knees. So he said, oh, that is bad. I got to get them done. But the problem, he started, I got to get both knees done, but I have diabetes. So now there's complications there. I said, you got diabetes. What else you got? So he said, oh, my back hurts. So long story short, I brought the fountain of life, instantly email, phone number, 3 bottles. Well, I'm telling him, a couple was going by, elderly couple going by, in terms of one of them, she also has diabetes. Let's just say, where do I get this product? So we got two customers on one conversation. So you can do that with products, right? Because I found the looker. See, he's got bad knees, he's got bad back, he's got diabetes. That by nature brings people to be looking. This young man today, he hates his job. He's only doing it because there's some cash. By nature, he'd been looking for whether he knows it or not. So that my whole point is this. Once you understand what prospecting is, you're going to find that it's fun, it's easy, it's so fulfilling, because prospecting is not about you. That's the only difference. So people who think prospecting is hard, they think they prospect for them. So prospecting is not about you when it comes to business, right? Prospecting is about the other person. It's about the candidate. Ask some questions. Listen to the answers. And you're going to find very quickly what they hate or like. Then you offer. So the whole concept of sales and marketing is find where is the problem, what are the issues, and offer a solution. Whether you're Xerox, IBM, or Opulence Global, we all do the same thing. We look at some problems on the marketplace and we offer a solution. So if you're prospecting someone, don't offer a solution unless you know what the problem is. Nobody, look, people love getting advice when they ask for it. Like people are this when they ask for it, right? When they're not asking for it, you're dumping at them, you're imposing on them. So how do you get people to ask for it? You ask questions like I did. So how will you be working here? The first question. What do you love most about your job? I hate my job. It's only cash. Well, why would you do something you hate? So if you make the same cash, or if you do something you like, would you do that instead? Of course. Okay. So let's have fun with this. What do you hate most about it anyways? I'm kind of rubbing it in, right? I'm just getting him to, I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just having fun with it. I want him to reflect on himself. I want him to reflect on his job. We all hear about this story of a dog on the nail, right? Just in case you're new, a dog on a nail story is very big in MLM because that applies to pretty much 99% of the population, including 99% of people on this call. So, here's the story, right? I think all of us fall into like so Arthur. Arthur is the only exception. The rest of us. So the guy goes to see his friend, right? And he sees in the backyard there's a dog that's crying. And look at his buddy. He says, "Why is your dog crying?" His buddy says, "Well, because he's sitting on the nail. It's uncomfortable." He says, "Well, why doesn't he just get up?" The buddy says, "Because it doesn't hurt bad enough yet." See, that's human beings, right? We complain about everything. We're not ready to do anything about it. We complain, but we don't do anything about it. We don't like to be in the lineup, but we show up late every time. So we end up in the lineup. At the end of the day, that's just how we are. And people in jobs, careers, people with health issues, they complain. And a lot of times, they don't want to do anything about it or they don't have an option. We get people to reflect on their problem and we give them a solution. That is the whole basic concept of sales and marketing. Provide a solution to a need or a problem that exists in the marketplace. So once you understand prospecting is not about selling anything. I mean, if you're out there looking for candidates for customers, well, it can happen very quickly because when you talk to people, health is very personal, and you're going to find people that here's a good example, one of the script I use a lot when it comes to customers. Because health is something that's very personal. All of us have something. Even if we're not conscious of it, we know of people who are struggling. So one of the lines that I like to use is that I would talk to somebody and say, look, I'm bringing a brand new product to this marketplace. This product has been an absolute miracle for hundreds of ailments around the world. I want to come and see you because I want to give you a brochure. And you're probably okay. But we all run into people who run into trouble with health. They have some aches and pains, something happens. So the next time you run into somebody like that, maybe somebody in your family, elderly, younger, whatever, I want you to give them this brochure. I'm going to give you 10 drops, test it out, and I want you to recommend me. See, we all run into people. So I make the appointment, right? They go in my pipeline. I make the appointment. So I didn't ask him to buy anything. I'm bringing a new product in, and we all know people who run into trouble with some type of pain or ailment, right? We all do. Who doesn't know somebody who has aches and pains and some type of ailment? We all do. When one or two people have heart disease, well, we know that means everybody, half of them would have some type of heart disease. Or 40% suffer from cancer. So it is impossible for you not to know people. And that's just only two ailments. There is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ailments out there. It's impossible for you. So when you tell someone that I'm bringing a product, and we all know people who run into trouble with health, some type of ailment, I want you to be able to recommend me. Who would say no to? See, the key part here is to fill up the pipeline. Prospecting does that, right? Prospecting does that. And when you fill up the pipeline, then the law of averages sets in. And when you do a demo, when you do a tour, right? One of three things will happen. They become a customer, they become a partner, or they're not interested, which they can give you a referral. It goes back to the prospecting side. So I come out of the gas station I'm driving, and I've done this literally thousands of times. It's not difficult to talk to people and prospect. It's very easy. As long as you're not thinking about you, you're thinking about them. People love talking about themselves, by the way. So as long as you're asking questions and they're answering, so God give you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? Listen twice as much as you talk, right? Ask a question, zip it, let them talk. As long as, you know what's the best conversation to everybody? Especially women. Women love this. It's when you have a conversation, you said very little, they said a lot. They love that conversation. People love talking about themselves. As long as you're genuinely listening, because you need the information. We can have a solution for virtually every problem out there. I believe that. Because this MLM could be the solution to virtually every problem out there. Almost everything out there. It's just almost, just in case it's something. So we don't want to limit it by saying the wrong things. And a lot of times we say, when we talk too long, we say the wrong things, right? There's an old saying, you talk long, you talk wrong. It's true, because people don't want to hear what we have to say. People want to hear what they want to hear. So how do we know what they want to hear? Because we ask questions, let them tell us. I hate my job, it's only cash, long hours at nighttime. See, at that moment, I wasn't thinking the fountain of life or the toothpaste or the fashion line or the $4 million comp line. I wasn't thinking any of that at that moment. I was thinking, time freedom. He doesn't like long hours. He wants flexible hours. And I wasn't telling him, I wasn't offering him a million. I said, if you could make the same money and you had time flexibility, would you rather do that? So, of course. If you make the same money and did something you like to do, would you rather do that? Of course. And finally, he said, what do you do? Well, I work in a space where we match people with the careers that they want. I'm going to send you a couple of links. Now, going back to people are afraid to ask for their people's coordinates. They don't know how to ask. The old days we used to say, and they both work, but this one is my newer approach to this. In the old days, I used to say, great, you know what? So I'm going to give you a call. We'll have a conversation on that next week. What's your best number? I can get a hold of you. It's interesting because if you ask someone, give me your telephone number, it's almost like an attack. It's almost like too aggressive. I say, well, what are you giving your number, right? It's too direct. Saying, what's your number? Too direct. One word makes the whole difference. It's like, what is your number? What is your best number that can get a hold of this week? It's incredible the difference it makes. What's your number? It's almost like, what's your best number? Well, my best number is usually my cell phone. So it's so different. It's incredible how one word can change everything. So I've never had people say, what's your best number? And my work number is my best number. My cell phone, my home. But if you say, what's your number? They'll say, why don't you give me your number? Debit card, right? So it's incredible. It's like Tony Robbins just talked about. He goes, you can go to the bank and ask everybody in the lineup, can I go in front of you? They say, no, 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 no. But go to the same bank, same people say, can I go in front of you because, da, 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 da. The word because, if somebody would say, yeah, no problem going. One word changes everything. To tell somebody, can I go in front of you? No. Can I go in front of you because, and whatever your reason is, they will say, go ahead, right? One word changes everything. So when you ask for someone's coordinates, that one word is, what is your best number? But it's even easier now. You see, because now we got these apps, right? WhatsApp or whatever, right? So I don't even have to ask for a number. Here's what I say. I'm going to send you a couple of links. I want you to watch it. Then you and I are going to have a conversation. I'll answer your questions. Well, how am I going to send them the link? Right? So I'm offering them something. Instead of asking for a number, I'm offering them. They want the link. Well, I know what's your number. So just say that. So I'm going to send you a couple of links. I want you to watch it. And then, but before you can send the links, what do you need? You need the number, right? To add to WhatsApp or whatever it is, right? So in any event, it's so much easier today to prospect than the old days. So it all comes down to what? And then training. That's why people come into MLM and they don't come to any trainings, they don't go to these calls, and all of a sudden, well, it's hard, I tried. Really? What's so hard about it? Today, you just learn a bunch of techniques, right? It's a 1 hour call, you get a bunch of techniques. You realize that people who've done over and over again, like for me, I've done 5 multi-million-dollar businesses. One as a corporate, 4 was a distributor as a soldier, like you. It's not, we keep things very, very simple. And we just picked up some techniques and we stick to the same techniques. We don't keep adding all this. We do the same thing over and over and over again, right? Yeah, we do some, movement along the way over the years as new technology arrives, whatever, but we keep things very, very simple. But most importantly, we understand the concept of that when you're in MLM, forensic philosophy, right? When you're in MLM, you're not in a sales business. You're in a psychology business. That's why in this prospecting phase, it was all about them. Although the end result is I want him as a customer, right? But the process was not about him becoming a customer. The process was all about him. What you love, what you hate, so once you understand the psychology side of the human element, I call it, of MLM, it becomes so easy. It becomes so much fun. You love doing it. I know people who get this part. They would do it if they didn't make any money because they love the process so much. They love the process. Think about it, team. Does it really make a lot of difference to me if I got one more customer in my company? It doesn't. For me, it just becomes such a process, and I enjoy the process. To me, other things, the gratification I was talking about is important. Not really the money side, it's the gratification side. if I could build one more success story, if I could just do one more, this, I always tell people, share your FOL or toothpaste testimony or captive, whatever. I can never get enough of testimonials because my gratification is not the profit I made on the product. My gratification is that next hand testimonial that has been going all around Philippines chat group and all these things are going on. Those are the things that I live for, that I drive. I need that. It's like I'm hungry. I have one more testimonial. It's just, so it's not really about me, is it? It is self-serving, but someone else has to get the benefit first before I get what I want. And if you got some of the stuff inside you, if you can stick some of the stuff inside you, it's a forensic does, right? And it becomes such an automatic process. Network marketing, I always say, it's not, don't do, well, if you're doing it socially, then okay, whatever. You're not really in the business, you're really promoting customer, right? I did a video on this that's called a spade. Go to YouTube, Forensic Network, a YouTube channel. Watch that video. So 5-6 minutes. Let's understand who you are first, because 9 out of 10 people fall into this. You're not really distributing another partner. You're promoting customers. So let's just put this called a spade. But if you get some of the stuff in you, though, they start to become MLM. Yeah, run as a business, but really people who do really well and make millions, it's not even a business anymore. It becomes a lifestyle. It's something you do every single day. I was at a gas station. I'm a CEO of a large company. One more customer doesn't really. I didn't do this because I needed to profit on it wouldn't show up on my bottom line, but it's just something I do. It's become part of me. It's just something I do. 30 years I've been doing this. My gratification is this young man shows up on next night in the stars and just qualified for his cruise. Now that costs me money, but that is incredible, the gratification. If you start, but you don't get to this, somebody would say, yeah, but you're already there, so that's why you're like that. No, you have to be like that to get here. It's the opposite. I know a lot of wealthy people who've made money in other type of businesses. They don't care about people. In this industry, in order for you to get here, the concept of Zig Ziglar, give enough people what they want, then you get what you want. There is no other way. There is no, sometimes I see the leaders who are making money, some of them made millions, they still don't get this industry because they forget where the money is coming from. They start becoming very choosy, put limits on the people. They become, it's like they choose who they want to work with, and it's ridiculous. You don't choose who you want to. You choose who you want to work with, the people who are not in your business. Yeah, you get to choose who you want in your business. That we get that choice. That's something we don't get in a job because you have to serve everybody. Something you don't get in maybe traditional business because you need the customer, whatever. In this industry, you get that option where you choose who should be in your business. But once they are in your business, you don't get that choice anymore. You get paid on the CV. All CVs equal. So you give, and you get. So give enough people what they want, get what you want. So that's something that's been part of my DNA for 30 years. So I'm driving to the 12 and see my great one. I go to the gas station. I see a young man there. For me, it was natural. If nothing, there are times I thought nothing comes out of it. One way or the other, it does. I don't think about it afterwards, right? Because I'm not disappointed or excited one way or the other. It's just a natural process for me because I'm not looking at the results. It's the process that gave me the gratification. It's part of it because I do MLM as a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle to me. It's not even a business. Certainly it's not social. It's become a life. Once you can take it to business level, you do well. You're doing well. And then the next level after that, it becomes a lifestyle. You shouldn't go out to do MLM. You should do MLM when you're out. It's two different things. You shouldn't be going out ready to do MLM. You should do MLM when you're out. It's two different things. I mean, in one, it's a business, which is great. In another one, it's a lifestyle. You do it all the time. I was coming to Ottawa today. I wasn't anticipating meeting anybody on the road, but you meet people on the road all the time. But it's a lifestyle. In any event, I thought today's conversation should be about prospecting because people get scared of prospecting. And the only reason they get scared of prospecting because they think prospecting is about selling something. You're thinking of the result of recruiting. Prospecting is about finding out about them, finding out what is missing in their life, what's bothering them. Remember, the whole concept of marketing and the world, not just MLM, is find a problem and provide a solution. And that is prospecting. So that means to find the problem, you're looking at them first. You're listening to them first. And by the way, when you're listening, you're building a relationship with them. And once you got the name and number to send them the links, that goes into your forensic MO box. You're filling up your pipeline. You do that twice a day, that's like 50, 60 leads you add every single month to your box. That's over and above your list. You'll never run out of leads. With that, Arthur, I think we can continue, and because MLM is a forensic, you can link to the next, and we could be here till we are 99 years old, and we're still gonna need to. So at this point, I want to give the floor to our forensic students and have them participate, share, and now I want to learn from you.
Awesome. Well, Ramin, I took tons of notes. And I really want to do a summary in the end with our listeners, but wow, I love it. I also love the part when you spoke about, I have heard it said that when you meet someone, it's not just the first time, but it's always every time you meet someone, it's an exposure. And sometimes it is said you need about 7 exposures before somebody can actually buy into something that you have. And I love the fact that you said it's not just one time. We don't go for the sale, but we go for the process, and that's the exposure. So guys, you are on the call. I know you are enjoying this call. Ramin, it's a fantastic information, but I'm going to open up the lines. If you have anything you want to share with the CEO and founder, please put up your hand and I'm going to unmute you, because I know this is your moment for you to actually be a leader and step up. And, Ramin, you said prospecting is easy. Well, let them prospect you now. So guys, he's on the call. Raise your hand and I'll definitely unmute you so you can actually start to prospect the CEO and founder. And it is very simple. Ramin, I really agree with you. On the field every single day, it's just conversation, and it's as simple as that. And I love the fact that when you said we just have to be alert and just look for the itch, everybody has an itch. Look for the itch and you'll find it. Okay, so I'm going to unmute Dodge, I think it is. I have unmuted you. You are free to speak.
Hi, Arthur, Anthony, and Ramin. Thank you so much. Do you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, go right ahead.
Perfect. Thank you, Ramin, again, for taking your Tuesday night to be with us. I always learn something new from you. You always inspire me. You always give me some great tidbits, to find confidence in myself and just be me. Just have that conversation with that person. Like you said, you're prospecting, but you're not. You're just building a like and trust and just going out and meeting people and seeing what their needs are to see whether or not we can help them. And that's just an eye-opener again. Thank you so much. I do have one quick question, Ramin, and that is, which videos would you send that young prospect? What 3 links would you send them first?
Oh, well, you know what? When I actually mentioned that, that was my excuse, is getting his telephone number. Because I don't think, well, at that moment really what I went to them, because I just wanted to, remember, you're in the gas station, there's people behind, whatever. So you just want to take that information and go. If I have to think about a guy like him, you know what? He probably makes, I don't know, $10 an hour. You don't want to send them a $4 million complaint video, right? So most likely with a guy like him, I would send him the 1-minute FOL expansion video. Then I would make an appointment with them to have a talk with them, or do a actual tour with them. So it's not something that, because he was looking for something flexible. So I'm going to focus a lot on time, not really on money. If money was really important to him, he didn't complain about his money when I was talking to him. He didn't say, oh, it's no money, I'm broke. He didn't say that. He wasn't complaining about his money. He was complaining about his night shift, his time. So I want to focus on that. And I think conversation, explain the whole industry, the method of how we do things. The 1-minute FOL distribution, I love that, because it talks about how we're going to distribute 1 million bottles over the next 24 months. We're looking for our launch team for distribution. I want to arrange for that one-on-one tour and let the tour do the work. This is kind of unique because sometimes you run to people that they got a health issue, then we can immediately connect them to a product. Some they run to people who are motivated by money, you can immediately connect them into the compliant video. Him is a little bit different. To him, that's why I say you should be listening, right? So I was listening to him. His complaint wasn't money or anything. It was time and flexibility. So with that, I would sell the concept. Being able to work 8, 10, 12 hours a week, be able to make the same type of money, distributing, marketing a product. And when he says, how do I do that? So that's training. Don't worry about that right now. We'll do it. I don't contaminate the conversation by adding training into this. Remember, we'll talk about the vehicle, what he would be. If somebody says, I have a job for you, first, they will know what the job is. And once they go in, only then, once they're in, only then they get training, right? We should do the same thing in MLM. Let's not worry about the training right now until he is in. When somebody says, so how do you do that? How do you distribute? Well, we got trainings for that. Don't worry about that. Let me tell you about how great the industry is. The time flexibility, 8, 10, 12 hours a week. For me, it was 13 months before I went full time. I wasn't making a lot of money. It was $5,000 a month before I went full time. He's like, wow, that was my story. Maybe your story is, let me tell you, my best month I made $500 part time. Wow, part time, $500. Who doesn't want to make extra $500 part? And all of us will have a month which we do very well at, right? All of us will have a month that will. You don't have to say how much money you make every month. Tell them, on my best month, I've made $1,000. Well, you've made. That's a tremendous story, because who doesn't want to make an extra? People get a bonus for Christmas and they look forward to it. It's once a year. So you may, talk about at my best, even best week. My best week, I made $300. Wow, who could make it $300 this week? What's funny about that? When you say my best week was $1,000 or $500 or $300, people assume that's $1,200 a month, right? Of course, it can happen. But my point is, though, in his particular case, now to answer your question for somebody else, I always lead with the 1-minute video because it's very quick. Because when they see that, then I'll call right back and say, let's talk about what our plan is. By now, they have a lot of questions. They start asking questions. We have a lot of conversation. That's okay. If the question is about the comp plan, I don't speak for an hour on the phone because you can't do that. Quickly, so I'll tell you what. Let me send you a link. I'll call you back. Now I send a comp plan video. 13 minutes later, I'm calling him back. We answer some questions. He's going to ask more questions about, I don't know, something else. If there's a link for that something else, point is that I use the tools, not me. I don't duplicate. Systems duplicate. So I can explain the comp plan to him, but I won't. So, well, here's the reason why. I can get him excited by my knowledge. Here he gets off the phone. An hour later, emotions go down, logic sets in. He doesn't remember a thing I said. Then he thinks it's too complex. He doesn't understand it. I'm different than Ramin. I see why he's so good. He knows all this stuff. I don't know this stuff. I don't want to give them that sense. I have to keep the gap as close as possible. If I'm talking, the gap gets bigger. The gap becomes so big, then they're not like you anymore because you got all this data. They don't have this data. You've been doing this a long time. They haven't. The minute they think they're different than you, you lose them. So if there's a link for the question that they ask, I said, let me send you a link. Here's the reason why. Once they watch the link, they get the answer. When we get off the phone, he wants that link to share with other people. There's a system that he can duplicate. He doesn't need to become Ramin the next day to do the business. All he needs to share the link to do the business. So that's why I said systems duplicate. You don't duplicate. I don't duplicate. People are different. Systems duplicate. So even for myself, I don't explain comp plans. I don't explain the fonts of life. I don't explain captive. I don't explain the shampoo. None of that. I share a link because what's important after they get excited. Remember, people look at two things. What's the business? We do this now. When they get off the phone, the second part comes in. How you do the business. They don't have you on the phone anymore. You don't live with them. You're not attached to them. The how is what discourages them. Because now, yeah, it sounded good, but I don't know how to do this. I don't remember the stuff from being said. And I could see why he's so good because he knows all this stuff. I don't know this stuff, so I guess it's not for me. Because we use our talent. So use the links. Use the links.